Hi, my name is Madeline Lee,
And I'm Stacey Depner.
and this is Stacy's Ford Model A Roadster.
And I built the Roadster 15 years ago, or 16 now, back in 2010. I had gathered parts for several years before that, and then finally got the build going. The engine was being built by a guy in Minnesota for several years before that. And then I had gone and got the chassis rails from a guy in Milwaukee, and that's really what kicked off the full build. So the engine was already going, got the rails, got those to Eric Pruce, who's a guy who used to work out here in California for Vern Tardell, as well as had his own shop back in Minnesota. So he put the chassis, or at least the frame together. He Z'd it and C'd it, so it's as low, I think, as you can get a 32 frame. I wanted it to be super low, without having to go to a Model A frame. And yeah, we started the build at that point, and I was driving across the Twin Cities every night after work for almost a year. It started in Thanksgiving of, what was it, 2009, and I got it on the road for Back to the 50s in 2010. So it was a ground up build, completely started from nothing. Like the body was separate from the rails and the drivetrain and everything. It's got a Muncie 4-speed, and it now has a 9-inch posi rear end. That has changed over the years. It was just a regular 9-inch. And then it's got the 327, which originally had 6 deuces on it, now has the 4-deuce offie intake, which I really like, and all the carbs are running now, whereas when I had the 6-deuce, only 2 of the carbs were running. So it was great on gas.
How did you first get interested in building your hot rods?
So I grew up around different old cars. My dad was very into it and took my brother and I to shows when we were kids. And when I started driving on my own, I would stop at different shows if I saw them around town. And then I moved to college in Minneapolis. I'm from Wisconsin, so an hour north of Green Bay, Peshtigo. And when I went to Minneapolis, I started asking people, like, where are the car shows around here? There's got to be some. And then I found out there was the biggest car show in the nation, back to the 50s. So I started going to that and meeting more people who were into it. And then also got into the rockabilly scene and started meeting even more people that were into cars and the music, and was dating a guy who was building a Model A coupe. And I thought, you know what, I'm an engineer. I'm going to school for engineering. Or actually at that time I was an engineer. I figured I should be able to figure it out too. So I started, like, first watching Mad Fabricators that Piero Luca put together, and picked what kind of car I liked. And I've always liked convertible type of cars, so the Roadster was perfect. Um, and then just started collecting parts, and ended up, yeah, like I said earlier, I was able to put it together in less than a year, other than the engine being built first, and the frame. But then once we had those, it just went together with myself at a friend of mine. He and his wife were my best friends, and I was always at the shop working on upholstery with Jenny, and then Jeff Bladorn is the guy who helped me build it. So he took me through, like, all the processes and everything. Would set me up every night to be able to, work on something after work, and then I'd go out on the weekends and we'd be able to take on bigger projects, or we'd go out to the junkyard and find parts, sometimes in negative 14 degree temperatures, which is how I got the dash that's in it. Yeah, so I just got inspired because I just wanted to take on something. I like taking on big projects, and I like, just overcoming something that doesn't seem like you should be able to do it because it's a huge project. But when you take something just many steps at a time, you can get there.
Nice. What was the first project that you worked on?
It was this one. I take that back. I had a '60 Impala. There wasn't a lot to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
It was mainly just changing out the starter, putting in a new battery, working on the paint was all rusted over, so just cleaning that up. And then my friend Jenny Bladorn and I, we did the interior in it, and we did it all. Even the headliner was all white vinyl with black diamond stitch. It was a fun project, so that made me wanted to take on something bigger.
Is this your favorite project that you've worked on?
Yeah, yeah. Just because I had my hands in the whole thing, so it's something I'm proud of, and I absolutely love my new car as
Mm-hmm.
well. A '34 Roadster is my favorite car of all, but at the same time, this one is my baby.
How did you learn the skills to work on these projects?
Um, just mostly by doing, but I did get to weld a little bit in
Mm-hmm.
college. A friend of mine, Mark Zay, he had his own bicycle shop, and he had gone back for engineering school. So we would build projects at his house and got to learn to TIG weld with him, just briefly. Nothing major. I wouldn't say I'm a TIG welder by any means, but taking that and then getting it to do it on another project or two in Jeff's shop just gave me the confidence to say, you know what, I can figure this out. I can get there, and this will be what I get there on. But that's why I didn't want to do any of the structural welding, because I didn't want to be falling apart on the road.
Has the welding skills you learned help you a lot?
Um, it's helped me in engineering, absolutely. Not that we weld, I work a lot on medical products.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a time where I was at a product development firm, and a lot of what we worked on was also other industrial projects and different consumer devices. So it did help in understanding that. I also worked on a project that was an automated pipe welder. So understanding how to weld helped me translate to that product.
Hmm. Interesting. What was the most challenging part of this build?
I think this is silly, but um, welding the firewall, only because I was under the gun. We were trying to
Mm-hmm.
get ready for World of Wheels in St. Paul, and there's this gaping hole in the front, and we were just going to mock the whole car up, and I just really wanted to get that all closed up, and it was a lot of complicated angles, and so it was just fighting me the whole time, mainly because I was rushed.
Do you take your cars on lots of races?
Just around here, I haven't gone out of state yet. But I started racing this one at Verona a couple of years back, maybe 4 or 5. Before that, I raced my friend Jesse Hernandez's
Mm-hmm.
Model A Roadster. Also, he had just a four banger in it, so it was a good one to get started on. And it blew me away. I was so excited to be on the track. So then this one was a little bit torn down because I needed to redo some of what was going on in the front end with the suspension. It was number one, worn out, after over 10 years. And the way that the steering column came down was a little bit sketchy. Everything is more intense here on the highways than it is back in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually, Jay Dean took it and redid a lot of the front, and that's when we put the different intake on it as well. So that's what got me on the track with this one, is just all those updates. We got them done for the Trog, the first one that happened at Flaybob, and got to race it there. We had another Flaybob that spring, and then Verona. So 3 times right in a row over a couple of months. As soon as I got this one on the track, and then I also race my new one, the '34 Roadster, at Verona and at Santa Margarita Ranch.
Nice. Do you take this car to showcases a lot?
I don't go to as many shows anymore. I like
Mm-hmm.
cruises. Like Justin Bass and Russ Hare, who put on the RPM Nationals that I race at, they also put on a beautiful cruise in um, East San Diego County. And so it's just wonderful to go for like 100 and some miles through that beautiful hills, rolling hills, beautiful grassy areas. It's awesome.
Do a lot of people go on those cruises?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he gets, I don't know if it's close to, I don't remember how many, maybe somewhere between 50 and 100 cars.
What was a piece of advice that you'd give young girls who also want to build cars?
Just dive in, just do it, and find a mentor. Um, you know, even my brother right now has taken my dad's car and was getting it to the finish line right before a fire happened. But he took on another project to rebuild the same car from the ground up, and you know, just like me with Titus, he has a friend, Skinny Jim, that's helping him. Finding that person that's, you know, willing to help you along makes it more doable and less frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, trying to do it on your own can be a lot and take a long time. Some people like that and want just the experience of building. But if you want to accelerate it, you know, find that person. And then I'd say also find that starter car, you know, that good one that's already running and driving, and you just need to, you know, maybe make it a little bit more high performance or adjust how it looks, and then you can just get your hands in and see if you like it, see if it's something that it excites you. Because building from the ground up it's a definitely a lot of dedication.
Did you have a lot of people that helped you throughout building this?
Primarily, again, Jeff Bladorn, and then there were different people along the way that helped me with different parts. If I'd be at a swap meet and talk about, you know, different things that I needed, and they would help me find them. At the end of the build, right before Back to the 50s, my dad came to Minneapolis, and we had a number of other people, some friends from Canada and all around were all there for the show the week before. So everybody chipped in to try to like do the big push to get it out for the show.
What was the engineering that you studied in college?
So I got my degree in mechanical engineering, and I really focused on more on design. I didn't want to go into like HVAC or like you could go deeper into other similar forms like aerospace and things like that. I really wanted to be general mechanical, so I could apply it to a lot of different types of products.
Interesting. And has that helped you with like your automotive stuff, like your projects and things?
Yeah, immensely. Just understanding mechanics has helped me pick up and understand different things about engines, as well as, you know, I built the ladder bars, the rear ladder bars from scratch. So just understanding angles and understanding, you know, forces and what things have to do gives me almost an intuition. So something doesn't look completely foreign, I can kind of judge if something doesn't look safe.
Has that made building this a little bit easier? Like, you have like some background?
Yeah. And again, getting to do a little bit of welding and having to build projects in college really helped me, you know, get a start and have the confidence that, you know, I can build something.
What kind of racing do you do with your cars?
So I mostly drag race, both this one and the 34, and this one is only bored out like 10 over for just cleaning up the cylinders, so it was never intended to be high performance. I would like to make it more high performance in the future, but I built the 34 so that I had something that I could race with, and that has a flathead in it that is higher performance. I actually took second at Verona, like the first time it was on the road or track last spring. That was pretty exciting and fun.
Do both your cars compare differently in performance on like when you're racing them?
They should, but they don't. So again, because this one was never intended to be high performance, they actually are pretty neck and neck.
Okay, thank you.